Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving headfirst into a really fascinating historical puzzle, all the way from the windswept landscapes of Northern Europe. We're going to try to unravel the origins of the Sami people, and it's a story that's woven from ancient migrations, some really surprising connections in language, and clues that are buried deep in their DNA. So let's get into it.
So, here's the big question, right? Where did Europe's northernmost indigenous people actually come from? This is something that has fascinated historians, linguists, and scientists for, well, centuries. Together, we're going to follow the clues from language, from genetics, and from archaeology to piece together an absolutely incredible story of resilience and fusion.
Okay, so before we jump in our time machine and go way back, let's just get a sense of who the Sami people are today. They are such a vibrant culture, deeply connected to the Arctic environment. They have these rich traditions of reindeer herding, incredible handicrafts, and a really powerful sense of identity.
And their homeland, which is known as Sapni, isn't defined by the borders you see on a modern map. It's this vast territory that stretches across the northern bits of 4 different countries. This land has shaped their culture for thousands of years, and honestly, understanding this geography is totally key to their story.
All right, our investigation starts with the first major clue, the Sami language. And this, right here, is where the story takes its first really surprising turn. You'd probably think their language would be related to their Scandinavian neighbors, right? Well, it holds a secret that points us thousands of miles to the east.
So it turns out the Sami languages belong to what's called the Finno-Ugric family. Now this group includes Finnish and, get this, even Hungarian, but it is completely separate from the Germanic languages all around them, like Norwegian and Swedish. This is our first major piece of the puzzle. So why on earth would a people in Scandinavia be speaking a language with roots so incredibly far away? And you can really hear the difference. The Norwegian goddag and the Swedish hi, they clearly sound like they're in the same family. But the North Sami greeting, bura päivä, sounds nothing like them, but listen to how it connects to the Finnish hyvää päivää. This linguistic mismatch is a huge sign that a group of people carrying this language must have migrated into the region a very, very long time ago. Okay, so the language points east. Now for our second clue, what does biology have to say? Modern genetics gives us this incredible window into the past. It literally lets us read the story of ancient migrations written directly in our DNA. It's amazing! And what scientists found is just absolutely fascinating. The Sami genetic profile shows a dual ancestry. A big chunk comes from the very first hunter-gatherers who moved into Europe after the last ice age, but another huge part traces back to migrants who came way later from the east, most likely Siberia. So here's the key. We're not seeing one group replace another, we're seeing 2 ancient populations merging. And this is so important because it just flips the usual script of history, which is all about conquest. This is a story of combination.
This timeline really helps put it all into perspective. So picture this. About 11,000 years ago, the first hunter-gatherers move into the north as the ice is melting away. They're there for thousands of years. Then, around 3,500 years ago, a new wave of people arrives from the east. They're bringing that Siberian genetic signature and, crucially, the Finno-Ugric language. From that point on, this long, slow process of fusion kicks off, creating the unique cultural and genetic foundation of the Sami people we know today.
Now for our final line of evidence, which comes from the Earth itself, archaeology. So, do the artifacts in the ancient sites actually back up this whole story of fusion that we're seeing in language and genetics? Well, the answer is a big, resounding yes.
This quote just nails it. It perfectly captures what archaeologists are finding on the ground. There's just no evidence of some massive invasion or a sudden cultural wipeout, which is, let's be honest, what we so often see in history. Instead, the artifacts show a gradual blending of traditions over thousands of years, as different groups learned from each other and adapted to that really challenging Arctic environment. It's a story of creation, not destruction.
Just think about the ancient slate tools they find all across Sapmi. The styles and the techniques used to make them, they're not just from one single tradition. They're a hybrid, a totally unique innovation that blends ideas from different peoples. This is tangible proof of that cultural exchange, a physical record of people coming together.
And the ancient rock art and remains of dwellings tell the exact same story. They show a worldview and a way of life that brought in elements from multiple origins. These sites are like a window into the world of the Sami ancestors, showing us exactly how they built a new, unified culture from these really diverse roots. So, now it's time to put all the pieces of our puzzle together. We follow the clues from language, from genetics, and from archaeology,
and a really clear and powerful picture has started to emerge. So let's just recap for a second. The language points to an ancestral homeland in the east. The genetic trail then confirms it, showing us this unique mix of ancient European and Siberian DNA. And finally, the archaeological record provides the physical proof of this slow, peaceful fusion happening over millennia. Every clue just reinforces the others. It's a perfect match. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The origin of the Sami isn't some simple story of one group showing up in one place. No, it's an epic, 10,000-year saga. It's a story of ancient hunter-gatherers meeting newcomers from the east and over centuries weaving their languages, their genes, and their cultures together to become one resilient and completely unique people.
And that leaves us with one final thought to ponder. You know, when a people's entire identity is forged from a 10,000-year story of adaptation and coming together, how does that deep, deep history of resilience and fusion shape their path forward in our modern world? Something to think about.